Number 1, what is your name, please?
My name is Tanny Frywald.
Number 2.
My name is Tanny Frywald.
Number 3.
My name is Tanny Frywald.
Only one of these people is the real Tanny Frywald and is the only one sworn to tell the truth. Now let's meet our panel. Actor and raconteur Orson Bean. Former Miss America Mary Ann Mobley. Star of the new feature film Popcorn, Tom Villard. And to tell the truth's very own Kitty Carlisle. Here's the host of To Tell the Truth, Gordon Elliott.
Thank you very much, and welcome to the program, everybody here and at home. And good morning, panel.
Good morning.
Tom, where do you get these suits?
Oh, different strange places I'll never tell.
More importantly, the big yellow shoes and the funny nose. You look great. And girls, again, I've never found more elegant clothes than the ones I see you wear every day, Kitty. They're beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Well, I like clothes.
You stay up all night stitching these together, I believe.
Absolutely.
You know, I said to her, do you dress like this every day? And she said, yes, I do.
And she's not lying. Mary Ann, awesome. You ready?
I think so.
Okay, here we go. Awesome Orson on the panel. Let's get right to the story presented by our first team of challengers, all three of whom claim to be Tanny Frywald. I, Tanny Frywald, was a real-life imposter. I went on as a fake guest who hoodwinked Geraldo, Oprah, and Sally Jessy Raphael. The hoax began when Oprah's producer contacted my boss, a psychologist. They were looking for a woman who hated sex. There was a shortage of such women, so my boss asked me to do the show. As a part-time actress, I couldn't pass up the challenge. I was later sent to Geraldo and Sally as a trained sex surrogate, an expert on sex. I was such a hit that Sally asked me back again. The ruse went undiscovered until someone tipped off the press. It just goes to show that when it comes to confessional TV, you shouldn't believe everything you see. Signed, Tanny Frywald. Welcome, ladies, whoever you may be today. And we'll be back to separate the real imposters from the fake imposters right after this. Welcome back to Tell the Truth. All right, panel, these three women all claim to be Tanny Frywald, an imposter. Let's start the questioning with Kitty Carlisle.
Thank you. Number 1, I'm not going to ask you what you hate most about sex, but I want to ask you what you said you hated most about sex when you went on the show.
I said it was uncomfortable and didn't make me feel very good.
Uncomfortable. Number 2, what did you say?
Well, it wasn't actually that I hated it. I have other things in my life that keep me busy and very active in the community. It's just not a part of my life.
Thank you. Number 3, as a sex surrogate, do you do what Masters and Johnson did? I mean, do you really do things with the patients?
That's correct, yes. We work with the patient to overcome sexual problems.
And if necessary, you do sexual things with them as well?
Yes.
Oh, my.
Is there a position open, Tom says? Tom, your questioning.
Number 3, who tipped off the press?
We did.
Oh, that was part of the plan? Number 3?
It wasn't a plan, it just was truth-telling.
Number 2, what was the height report?
I'm sorry, I don't understand.
The height report?
The height report? Yeah. I honestly don't know.
Okay, number 1, how does one train to be a sex surrogate? Do you go to school for that?
Well, see, I wasn't a sex surrogate. I was asked to be on the show as a sex surrogate. But I read a lot of books about it when I was in the doctor's office.
Oh.
Wasn't the height report something of a mile high clap? I can't remember. Something like that. Mary Ann Mobley?
I think I'm having the vapors.
Oh, my golly goodness.
Number 1, your boss was a psychologist, and you did this with his approval.
He asked me to do it. He got a call from the various television shows, and he didn't want to trust one of his patients, and he knew I was an actress.
So he sent you out, number 1. knowing that you didn't have this problem, but you were just acting, and he didn't feel any qualms about being ethical?
No, because he knew that what I would say towards the end is, don't just listen to me, but go get a second opinion. And I never just said, do this. I said, get a second opinion.
Always get a second opinion.
Now, a man who's had a second opinion about whether he hates sex, Orson.
Well, I'm happy to be in the presence of someone who has hoodwinked Geraldo.
Yes.
The man who opened Al Capone's vault in front of the world and found an old beer can. Number two, now, how do you feel about the fact that you were, in effect, lying? In fact, if you're not the real one, you're lying about the fact that you're lying.
I'm an actress. It was a great challenge. Who was going to pass that up? I mean, and I did it. I'm pretty proud of myself.
I'm sorry. Number three, I remember hearing about this at great length, but I'm proud to say I did not see the show. In fact, I've never seen Sally, Jesse, Raphael, or any of the three of them. Number three, do you feel that you pulled... I mean, they were very angry, weren't they? Oprah, for instance?
They were angry.
Yeah.
I feel that it was all entertainment.
Number one, do you feel that...
Sorry, Orson. Time's up, and it's time to vote for either number one, number two, or number three. A team of challengers will receive $500 for each incorrect vote with a guarantee of $1,000. And if the panel is fooled completely, the team will receive $3,000. And panel, you're ready to cast your ballots? We'll start with Kitty.
They were all wonderful liars. I would have believed really any one of them if I'd seen them on the show. I'm happy to say that I was on Sally, Jesse, Raphael, and I thought it was an excellent show. I voted for number one because I think she's an actress, I think she did it, and I think she damn well enjoyed it.
Eventually. And Tom.
It's like you said, everybody had wonderful answers, but to have this much chutzpah, to be this bold, number one seems to me to be the absolute most bold of these three women.
All right.
So I said number one.
Mary Ann.
Well, I also have appeared on Sally, Jesse, Raphael, and I'm sure you will in the future, and she's a lovely lady, and it's a great show. Number two...
You're not going to get on a row, though, that's for sure.
I love you anyway, though. We're going to teach you later, honey. Number two, I was just a little surprised that you didn't know what the height report was. And number three, you were so marvelous, I thought you were very coached, so I think it was number one because she had that gleam in her eye, and she's having a lot of fun with us today.
Okay. Now, Orson.
Well, I've never been on Sally, Jesse, Raphael.
I never will,
No,
now.
I'm sure I won't. I won't even take her off her coffee. I voted for number three. She has the look of someone who could pass herself off as, you know, a sex surrogate or a chicken sexual.
I don't know whether that's a compliment, Orson. The votes are all in, as you can see. 3 votes for number one, none for number two, and 1 vote for number three. Now it's time to meet the real fake. Now, will the real Tanny Frywald please stand up? Yeah. Now, hang on. How do we know that this isn't a hoax today?
Well, Gordon, I would play it safe and never trust anything you see on TV.
So we don't even know if you're hoaxing us again. All right, let's ask a few questions. Number one, you did a great job.
Thank you.
What's your real name?
My name is Amanda Stewart, and I design jewelry and clothing.
Really? Great fake here today.
Thank you.
Number two, what's your real name?
My name is Joan Camarillo, and I work for Shearson Lehman Hutton.
Oh, good. Well, there were 3 incorrect votes at $500 a vote, so your team will receive $1,500, and thank you very much, all of you, for being with us today on To Tell the Truth. And we'll be back with an ex-convict right after this. Welcome back to Tell the Truth. Let's meet our next team of challengers.
Number one, what is your name, please?
My name is Delbert Dunmeyer.
Number two.
Delbert Dunmeyer.
Number three.
My name is Delbert Dunmeyer.
All righty, panel. Time to locate the real Delbert Dunmeyer, and here is his story. Please read the affidavit along with me. I, Delbert Dunmeyer, robbed a bank 32 years ago to pay off some gambling debts. It was the biggest mistake of my life. I was arrested and thrown in prison for 2 years. When I got out of jail, I opened a manufacturing company and discovered I had a good head for business. I worked hard and made millions, and that gave me a chance to pay back society. I've donated thousands to charities and gave more than $1 million to fight drug abuse. And I did one more thing. This year, I went back to the scene of my crime and donated over $50,000 to the city. Robbing that bank 32 years ago was wrong, but at least now my account is settled. Signed, Delbert Dunmire. Welcome, gentlemen. See if we can take home a bit of money on this occasion legally. Let's start the questioning with Orson Bean.
Thank you, Gordon. Number one, do you feel that your background as a bank robber stood you in good stead to become an industrialist?
I think it had totally nothing to do with it.
All right, well, I don't know. We'll be the judge of that, number one. Number three, how much did you... I've never met a real bank robber. I think it's very exciting. Number three, how much did you get out of the bank?
$2,000.
$2,000. Number two, did you get more than that, I hope?
Around $2,500.
$2,500, okay. How did you get caught? What did you do wrong?
Took a wrong turn.
Number one, did you ever hold up any other banks or do any other jobs like that?
Never again.
Hard luck kid to get caught for one job for a lousy $2,000, huh? Number three...
sorry about that, Orson. Mary Ann Mobley.
Number two, it seems to me, with my limited knowledge of the criminal justice system, that 2 years is a very light sentence for bank robbery. Were you armed?
No.
Number three, what did you use to extract this money? A threat? Were you armed?
I had a gun, but I left it in the car. I was so nervous about it. I used a note that said, just give me the money and nobody gets hurt. And that was it.
Number one, what do you think the one thing that changed your life from being a bank robber and a gambler to donating so much to charity?
Probably the reading that I did in the pen.
Well, there you go. Tom, your thoughts?
Number one, do you still gamble?
Not much.
Number three, how did you finance a manufacturing company? Did you use the money you got from the bank? No, if it was $2,000.
No, that money was recovered anyway. I went to work after I got out of prison. I worked for 5 years and learned some skills and started my own company.
Number three, what did you manufacture?
I started with some electronics parts and some repair and maintenance on electronics parts.
He's gambling with the bank's money now. It doesn't matter. Kidding.
Number one, what do you manufacture now?
I manufacture a thing called fasteners.
Fasteners.
Fasteners are the little tiny things that on aircrafts that hold the toilet seats on and the wheels.
Thank you. Number two, when you robbed the bank, how soon after that did they catch you?
Very shortly.
How soon?
20 minutes.
Number one, where were you when they caught you?
Well, I was about 5 miles from the bank.
Number three, did you wear a ski mask? And since you'd left your gun in the car, you needed something, no?
I had a hat pulled down over my face. It wasn't really...
Thank you. Number one, where was
Sounds
this?
like he deserves to be caught, Kitty. I mean, it wasn't too much. No gun, a bad hat. Time's up. Time to vote for either number one, number two, or number three. Our team of challengers will receive $500 for each incorrect vote with a guarantee of $1,000. And if the panel is fooled completely, the team will receive $3,000. Now, if you're ready to cast your ballots, we'll start with Orson.
Well, I want to vote for number three, but I spent a night in the clink once, and I recognize a fellow con. I think it's number one.
Number one. We'll talk about your charges later. Mary Ann.
It was all justified, I'm sure. Well, I think you're all wonderful. I'm going with number two because I felt that he hesitated just a little when he said his name, and I think someone who really had his name and was a little unsure might hesitate.
All righty. Tom, your thoughts?
I think number one has the demeanor, and number two even has the demeanor more than number three. But I think number three has the most expensive tie. And he's a millionaire, and I would buy an expensive tie.
Okay, Kitty?
That's exactly what I was going to say. I think number two hesitated on his name, and number three gave us wonderful information, but perhaps a little too much, and number one looks the richest.
All righty. Well, let's see. The votes are all in, as you can see. 2 votes for number one, 1 vote for number two, and 1 vote for number three. Now let's find out who the real philanthropist bank robber is. Will the real Delbert Dunmire please stand up?
Number three.
Can I ask you, Delbert, at what point did you feel as if you had to go back and repay the money, and why? That money you gave to the society.
Well, my mom wrote to the Parole and Commutation Board, and she said, if you turn my boy loose, he'll do something good sometime.
And they turned you loose early.
And they turned me loose.
And you've given over $1 million of goodness back to people.
Not enough.
Not enough?
No, we all know the plight of the kids, and charity was done to me, but the governor commuted my sentence, and we need that today.
Congratulations. Thanks for being with us today. Let's find out who our imposters are. Number 1, 2 votes. What's your real name? What do you do?
My name is Bill Vickery. I'm a doctor of optometry in Culver City, California.
Oh, really? It's tremendous. Number 3, your real name and occupation.
My name is Dale Allen Bales. I'm an English teacher at Moore Park College.
With excellent taste in ties. Well, there are 3 incorrect votes at $500 a vote, so your team will receive $1,500. Not that you need it, Delbert. You may like to donate it back to us. And thank you for being with us today on To Tell the Truth. Thank you very much. We've added something new on To Tell the Truth. It's called One-on-One. We'll be back to play it with someone from our studio audience after this. Welcome back. Now it's time to play one-on-one with someone from our studio audience. Burton, who do you have for us today?
Well, Gordon, I'd like you to meet Mike Panikowski of Glendale, California.
Oh, welcome, Mike.
You're welcome, Gordon. Hi, Gordon.
Who would have thought when you turned up to Burbank today you'd be on television, making an absolute mozza for yourself?
Thanks.
Okay, here's a chance to play one-on-one. I want you to meet a lady with 2 stories. Paula Tyler. Welcome, Paula. Now, Paula is going to tell us 2 stories, only one of which is the truth. If you can spot the true story, Mike, you'll win $500. So, Paula, what is your first story?
I make a product for chocolate-holics who are trying to kick the habit. 1 bite of my candy, and you'll never eat chocolate again.
Now, Mike, that may or may not be the truth, so let's listen to Paula's second story.
All my life, I've had a big mouth, and finally, it's paid off. I'm the Illinois State Husband Calling Champion.
Okay, now, Mike, to help you win that $500, our panel is going to ask 1 question about each of those stories. Let's start with story number 1 about the chocolate and Kitty.
Thank you. What's in your chocolate that does this?
The ingredient that actually does the trick is a product called Bitrex.
Tom.
Paula, if they only take 1 bite and then they never use this stuff again, how much of a market is there for this stuff?
It comes in several different forms, and you use it to help your craving for different forms of chocolate.
Mary Ann.
I need to get some immediately, if not sooner. Is this idea patented?
It's in the process.
Awesome.
Are you able to help the most severely addicted of all of us, the Malamar fiend?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
There is help. Okay, now, Mike, you've heard this first story of Paula. Now, here is story number 2, and the questions, we start again with Kitty, the husband caller.
Thank you. Do you make noises or do you say words?
I make a lot of noisy words.
Interesting. Tom.
What qualifies you as someone with a big mouth?
I always manage to make myself be heard.
You should be on television. Mary Ann.
How long has this contest been held?
It's been held for longer than I've been in it.
Now, awesome.
Yes, the last Illinois husband calling champ yelled so loud a husband from Wisconsin answered. Is loudness an important part of your craft?
Loudness and clarity are very important.
Loudness and clarity.
Okay. Now, Mike, you've heard the cross-examination. Did, in your opinion, Paula invent a candy for chocoholics, or is she the husband caller, state champion of Illinois?
I don't think she invented the chocolate because it seemed too rehearsed, too directed. I think she's the husband caller.
Okay, now, if you're right, you win $500. Paula, what is your true story?
To tell the truth, I'm the husband caller.
Congratulations, you've won $500. And thanks for playing one-on-one with us today. We'll be back with some husband calling right after this with Paula. Now, welcome back. And I would like Paula, if she could, to demonstrate how you won that husband calling contest.
Well, you know, after a day of housework, I just like to relax and call my husband.
What's his name?
His name is Donald.
All righty.
And this is how I do it. Hope he's out there.
Okay. He'll hear you, don't worry. Sit there. Oh. Donald, are you Donald? Hello, Donald. Thank you. Paula and Donald. Ah, Cinderella. What a guy. Thank you very much for coming on the show. Well, panel, that's it for this edition of To Tell the Truth. We'll see you next time. Cheerio.
The Swedish Dandy, the Belgian Musclehead, the Love Hound, the Foxy Terrier. Who will take the title of Best in Doggy Dog Show? The winners are announced tonight at 10 on GSN.